potentially one of the absolute best metallic eyeshadow formulas I've ever worked with. Brand new brand. Ooh, wow. It's a little bit messy. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing my September faves and flops. This is a monthly video that I do talking about all of my favorite products that I've tested, tried, and been loving this past month. Products I really think are worth the hype, worth the money. And then there's also going to be those products that kind of just didn't impress me, maybe missed the mark, maybe just were downright awful, and that I think are not worth the hype, the money, or your time. So if you guys want to find out which products from September I thought were the best and the worst, keep on watching. So as per usual, I like to start with the positive. So let's talk about my faves. There's actually quite a few. I tested a whole ton of makeup. The majority of my videos this month were testing new products. So the first one I'm going to start with is my Natasha Denona Glam Palette. This is such a stunning palette. That's what it looks like on the inside if you missed my review. I created a really beautiful look in that video and I was really happy with this product. I am very familiar with Natasha Denona's eyeshadow and am a huge fan. It's some of my absolute favorite eyeshadows. The formulas are incredible. The mattes are pigmented. They're blendable. You know, the shades that she includes in her palettes are typically very flattering and really stunning. And then the metallics are honestly what I love about really any palette. I'm just all about the glitter. I'm all about the sparkle. I'm all about the metallic, and I cannot, as you can tell from today, go without my glitter and my sparkle. So the metallics from Natasha Denona really truly are impressive. They are like super pigmented, super creamy, and they just are very unique. A glam palette, but it's very neutral, verging on cool tones. And I find this is just a palette I think everybody could use on an everyday. I really think that it's something you could create really minimal, really natural looks to glam. And obviously if you love the warm tones, this won't be your thing, but I think there's quite a few neutral shades. Like that is a nice brown metallic, but it has a kind of silvery, really cooler tone shift, which is nice. There's this absolutely incredible gold. Just look at, it's a little bit more bronzy gold, and just look at how pigmented and shiny and shimmery, very finely milled and creamy. Like it little goes a long way, and it's very flattering. There's like this rosy gold kind of inner corner brightening shade. Again, very, you know, unique, more rosy gold. Love it. And I really think that this is probably my favorite Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette I've ever tried. Just because these colors are incredible. I love the combination she used and the pigmentation. I'm really impressed with this, and it's something that I would recommend if you have the money to splurge, to treat yourself with the holidays coming up, if you want a gift or to use maybe your Christmas money for. I would definitely recommend it, especially if the color scheme is something you think you'd be interested in. That's definitely something I think you'll be happy with the quality. The next product that I absolutely fell in love with was the Charlotte Tilbury Holiday Eyeshadow Palette. So this is the Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize Eyeshadow Palette. That is the palette up close. Please don't mind my fingerprints. The packaging of these two both are incredible, but like, man, I'd have to literally wipe this every 5 seconds if I wanted it to be perfect. The one thing I love about Charlotte Tilbury's eyeshadow palettes is her metallics as well. Like, let me just show you, and I'm always attracted to these shades, but let me just show you, and I'm gonna show you right beside, I'm putting it right here. That's the Charlotte Tilbury. Now I love the Natasha Denona formula as well, but I think the Charlotte Tilbury is potentially one of the absolute best metallic eyeshadow formulas I've ever worked with. Look at how like creamy, like look at my finger. It looks like I dipped my finger in literal gold. It looks so smooth, so creamy, very pigmented. And the texture just is like, it doesn't get chunky, it doesn't get, you know, powdery, it's very creamy, and the metallics are honestly and truly incredible. Like literally one swatch. This is like almost a grayish, kind of brownish hue, but then in the light, You see very like bright pink, you know, sparkle and shimmer, and it's so fun and unique. And I just think with this palette especially, even compared to the Natasha Denona, I think this one just is, you can get more out of it. I love this because this is the colors that I love to work with on an everyday, and I really think that you can do a ton of looks, but it's not gonna vary in terms of colors. In terms of like potential, this palette I think takes the cake, because you have a beautiful, really natural trio here. You have a beautiful, almost holiday, very like red pink look here, a nice cooler toned and purple look here, and then a more, you know, dark yet still natural and neutral look here. You can mix and match and combine. There's so many different looks you could get out of this, and the formula of the mattes and the metallics are pigmented, blendable, creamy, flattering, stunning. These two palettes are some of my absolute favorite palettes right now, and I recommend both of them even though they're expensive. If you have the money, definitely worth it, both of those. And again, as I said, like stuff like this, you can, if it's really worth the money and you think you would be interested in the color scheme, I think that it's worth like saving your money up and or using like birthday, holiday, like Christmas money. Add it to your wish list for your birthday or for Christmas. The last eyeshadow palette that I absolutely loved this month, and I'm actually wearing today, which I'm obsessed with this look, is the Pumpkin Spice Too Faced eyeshadow palette. Really, really, really beautiful. I love Too Faced eyeshadow formula. The mattes, very similar to the last two products, are pigmented, blendable, buildable. I had zero issue blending these out. Definitely love the metallics. I'm wearing this shade here and this shade here in the crease. And then I'm wearing this shade in the outer lid and this shade in the inner lid. Like, take a look at how like pigmented that metallic is. Like, and super bright is what I love about that shade. These ones feel a little bit different. Like, they do feel a little bit chunkier, but once you blend them out with your finger or with a brush, they're beautiful. They really are. And the thing that I love the most about this palette is that there are like literally unlimited options you could go with. A cooler toned line at the bottom, mauvey shades, a little bit of pink in there. Majority of this palette's pretty warm, except for like the purples and the mauve. You know, you get the greens, which is very fall and different. And then up here, you get your very warm tones, more orangey, browns and yellows and peachy. So like you could do any look with this. It's endless. It's really endless, and the quality is there. So another recommend, especially for this season. I think it's a perfect fall palette. You can go a little vampy, you can go really warm, you can kind of go in between, which is what I did today. Not everybody loves green, but I think it's a flattering green. Really, really love that one as well. One of the products that I picked up is not new, but is new to me. This is the Rach Loves and Pixie collaboration, the Layers Highlighting Palette. It is honestly one of my favorite highlight palettes and my favorite highlights. I'm wearing it today. Very, very, very like blingy highlights. Clutch is one of my absolute favorite highlights in the palette. It's very like champagne. I think it would flatter a lot of skin tones. Really pigmented, very like blinding highlight. You can wet it to make it even more blinding. Super incredible. You can use it you know, minimally and get a little bit more of a natural highlight. Super good. You get this one here, which is a little bit gold for me, for like one I would use on an everyday, but for a gold highlight, it's incredible. Still has very like champagne-y kind of tone to it. And so I think it's flattering as well, even for a lighter skin tone, but definitely I think would be beautiful on like a medium skin tone as well. And some, you know, for a dark skin tone, if you like the really bright highlight. Lace up here is a little bit more cooler toned, a little bit more icy, like almost like pinker, more pink hues, and it is like super blinding as well. Like, look at those three highlights. Aren't they incredible? And I mean, I have Clutch, which is the middle one, and Lace, both on my face, and they're really, really nice. They last a long time, and I absolutely love them. And then these two here make the palette really unique because you get like a nice purple shade here, which is really bright and fun. I typically use it in like my inner corner of my eye. I don't really use purple on my face, but it's fun to have colors to play around if you're gonna do something really fun or to use on your eye. And then Knit, which is the darker one here, is perfect for darker skin tones. But for our lighter skin tones like me, it's good for the eye. It's a beautiful, like bright, kind of bronzy brown shade. So all of the shades are pigmented, creamy, finely milled. They almost look like a cream highlight. That's how perfect they are. They really are beautiful highlights and something I recommend. This technically is drugstore, but it is a pricier option for the drugstore. In Canada, this was $30. So it's like almost an in-between drugstore and high-end, but it is worth every penny. Every penny. I would buy this over and over and over and over again. Recommend for sure. And I mean, compared to a lot of the high-end products, it is still pretty cheap. Price-wise, it's pretty fair, I think. I think it's a fair price for what you get. There is a gloss that I'm wearing today. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Jewel Lips gloss in Pillow Talk. I have it on. I'll just add a little more here. One of the most flattering glosses. Now I'm wearing a lip liner underneath as well. This is the Gerard Cosmetics Nude Lip Liner, but this gloss is so flattering. It has super, super, super like micro fine glitter. You will not be able to see it unless you look like super up close, and even then you barely see it. But I think that that's what makes my lips look so full and juicy and like, I don't know, hydrated and smooth and just gorgeous. I feel really good about my lips every time I wear it, whether I wear it on top of lip liner, whether I wear it on its own. I feel like my lips look, as I said, smooth, juicy, plump, just really flatters the lips. The only other glosses, well, actually the Fussy gloss by Fenty, the Gloss Bomb, that one was really, really nice. A similar kind of vibe where it really just makes your lips look so beautiful and full and juicy. But the only other glosses I felt this way about, because otherwise I've really always been the person to be like, well, whatever, gloss is gloss. But this one, oh my goodness, has done the most amazing job at like making my lips look so stunning. The only other ones that have done that is the Pat McGrath Opulus glosses, which is another fave from this month. They are the most unique glosses I've ever seen. This is the Lavendering. It's a purple lip gloss, but it has such a beautiful, like all of them are super, super, super shimmery, glittery, but very micro fine. Like you don't feel it, you don't really see it in terms of like chunk. It's very fine, but very like almost metallic. It's like you're wearing metallic eyeshadow on your lips. So pretty, and they're very comfortable. They're not sticky. There's this one here as well. That's like a more warmer toned one, and that's Naked Rose. And then there's this one, which is a little bit more sheer, but very like still glittery and fun. And that one is Dreamscape. I love them all, and I really, really think they are so cool. They do last a while. So both of those glosses, the formulas are incredible. They're not sticky, they're comfortable, they're really unique, and both of them are very flattering. So recommends there as well. This is another product from the drugstore, but is like one of the cheapest products that I've gotten in a long time. It's the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. Absolutely incredible. I'm wearing it today. Like, do you not see how like long and full and just incredible my lashes look? I feel like length is what I lack the most, and this gives an amazing length. It doesn't make them look clumpy. It gives some volume. It holds the curl, doesn't flake. So a really, really good find from the drugstore. It is like what, $4 or $5? So cheap, guys. So go pick that up because it's so good, and it's better than a lot of my high-end mascaras. So we have two more products, both from the same brand, that are favorites, and they're by Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez. This is a brand new brand. And I absolutely fell in love with her products, and I'm so excited to try more. The first product is the Soft Pinch Liquid Blush I got the matte formula in Bliss. Now they have a dewy formula. I can't really speak on that because I have yet to try it, but the matte formula is so pigmented. You only need a little bit. You can apply it underneath powder, on top of powder. It blends with a beauty blender, with a brush. I'm also wearing that today. It's the most flattering shade, the most flattering formula. It doesn't lift your foundation. It blends right in. It's very seamless. It's honestly so incredible. I'm in love with this stuff. I used it like almost every single time I've done my makeup, unless I was testing something else this month since I got it. So good. I definitely recommend this blush. I really feel like her products are pretty reasonably priced. They're not that expensive. This was $26 and that's Canadian. So it's like 20 bucks US. So good. The next one that I absolutely loved was by Rare Beauty as well, and it's the liner. At first, I wasn't sure how I felt about this. When I first swatched it, it wasn't that rich, but now that it's kind of started flowing, it's probably one of my richest black liquid liners like that I even have in my collection. It's so rich. It has a very unique brush. So it's supposed to be like a calligraphy style brush where it has, I think it has like 1,000 brush bristles, like super fine brush bristles, and they come to a very precise point. So when you swatch it kind of just normally from on the side, you can, and you put like a decent amount of pressure, you get a pretty thick line, which I like for like filling in, for going along like the outer edge, because then you're not like having to go over and over and over. It fills in really quickly. Then if you learn kind of how to use this, it's one of the most incredible liners I've ever used. You can use just the very tip and very light pressure and get some of the finest lines you can ever get. I get right in the inner corner, and the first time I used this, it bled and transferred a little bit. So I was so upset, but then the next day I used it, and ever since I've used this also almost every time I've done my makeup. I just put the lightest pressure and just the very tip and just kind of pull it across. And it does, because that way you're not dispersing as much product and it can't travel up those lines and texture in your eyes. And so it hasn't transferred at all or bled ever since I kind of started doing that. It's so long wearing, it's really waterproof. And because you can use the tip to get really precise, you can kind of get a super precise wing, or get a really, really thin line if you like it super natural. And the other thing is, it definitely glides really easily. It doesn't like pull, it disperses enough product that it can just glide and fill in. I can do my eyeliner within like 2 minutes, or maybe 5 if I'm like really getting precise with the wing. Whereas sometimes I take almost like 10 minutes on my winged eyeliner because I'm such a perfectionist. Really incredible, and one of my absolute favorite eyeliners right now. We're done. We're done the faves, guys. So now we have 3 flops, which there's 2 here that like aren't like a disaster. There's 2 flops here that I just think kind of miss the mark, especially for their price tag. I don't think they're worth that much money. And the first one is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, what's this called? Plump Up Lashes Mascara. This is new. It's not a bad mascara, but I just don't think it lengthens enough for me. If you take a look at the video where I reviewed this, you could barely see them past my eyeliner. And it's just, if mascara won't lengthen my lashes, honestly useless to me. And so I really don't love this for myself. Now let's say I was gonna layer mascaras, I would totally use this because it's not a bad mascara. It gives pretty decent volume. It holds the curl really, really well. I mean, I do love the curl element of this, which is I think one of the biggest claims, but it said it was gonna give you most amazing volume, the most amazing length, and I really don't think that's true. The volume's pretty good, but the length was just not there. Maybe it's just me. Like, do you guys love this? Let me know in the comments below. But I would recommend other mascaras over this one, and I think for how expensive it is, that's kind of disappointing. It's not the best lengthening mascara, even though it claims that it is. So yeah, I would recommend other ones over this. And then another one that I just felt, I don't know, this one's a little bit tricky. Like, do I like it or do I not like it? This is the Urban Decay Lash Freak. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I love the results once you get there. The process of actually applying this is not fun by any means. When you take a look at this brush, you can even just see right from the get-go, it looks messy, and it is messy. And I tried so hard to be like, okay, well, like, it'll be fine. I think, honestly, once this like dries out a bit, it would be a fantastic mascara. It's just too wet, it's too messy, and I think it's partially because you get too much product on the brush. Like, this is coated. It's coated. It gets clumpy real easily, like to the point where like a huge chunk of my lashes were like coated together, and I had to go in and like use a spoolie, like a clean mascara wand, and like roll it all the excess off, which is fine. And I've had to do that with some of my favorite mascaras. It happens, but for like it to happen that quick all the time, that's kind of a red flag to me. So I think this is one I wouldn't necessarily recommend to everybody. I think if you're a beginner, you know, you have trouble making a mess, don't get this one. If you have trouble with clumping, I wouldn't get this one. If you have the patience, the result is good. Like, you get really voluminous, lengthened lashes, but it's like, man, be careful, because it's so easy to get everywhere. It's a little bit messy. So unfortunately, I was a little disappointed in that, and I don't think it's the first one that I would recommend. So again, these two aren't like total flops, but they're just two that didn't really do it for me. Like, there's so much better out there kind of thing. So like, I've had days where I'm like, ooh, wow, that's incredible. And like, I'm like feeling my lashes. And then there's some days where I'm like, no, it's not it. It's not it. The very last product in today's video that is like the biggest flop from today is the Violet Voss Essentials 2 palette. This is the eyeshadow palette that I reviewed in my, you know, testing my products from my Sephora Fantasy Basket. This one I didn't purchase, I got in my BoxyCharm box. Yeah, I wasn't in love with it. If you go back, like, I wasn't really that happy with my eyeshadow look that day. Really kind of muddy and like not that pigmented. The only shade that I really liked was this one here. Where should I put you? Like, super bright and very pigmented, nice like violet purple. But like, why buy a palette for one good shade? You can buy single shadows, and you know, some even better than that. So for example, the blue violet, it's just not, it doesn't do it for me, guys. It just doesn't pull through. The pigmentation's not there. And then like, you start playing around with it and blending things out, and it's just like muddy, and it all kind of blends into one shade. I didn't feel like this one was as good as I thought it was going to be. I loved the color scheme looking at this palette, but like, even this one here, that's that rose gold. It's just not pigmented enough. So yeah, I would say pass on this one, unfortunately. That comes to an end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and got some good recommendations. If you guys pick these up or already have them and you enjoy them as much, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget the giveaway going on. The info will be linked below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.